my make-believers with your head up in the clouds. And here's to all my dreamers, the ones who stand out in a crowd. Here's to all my people thinking outside of the box, doing what they love instead of being who they're not. To all the widows, all my freaks, you are the heroes, wild and free. When the haters try to bring you down, remember that you are proud. I said remember that you are proud. Stand your ground. Free flag fly. Stand your ground. You are amazing. Stand your ground. Nobody's gonna tell you who you are. Stand your ground. Stand your. And I love you.
Introducing Roxanne, otherwise known as Roxy. They are VP and co-founder at Bridging the Gap WA, a Washington-based social benefit corporation for neurodivergent adults. Since August 2024, they have been pursuing their Master of Social Work degree at the University of Washington, Tacoma, while also working toward obtaining their social worker license. And that's not all. There's a plan to co-author a book about giving hope to trans people in the face of abuse. I'm in awe, Roxy. Aren't you?
Look up, beauty's all around. Wake up to the beautiful sound.
I am Roxy. I am a trans person that is mostly non-binary, go by they, them, and I'm a social worker and help out the community in recovery. I'm giving this video interview because I saw a friend post the want to do this project, and I am a huge advocate for a lot of different communities that I'm a part of, and I will do almost anything to let other people have a chance to be their authentic selves. I am in near Olympia, Washington. Because if I just say Washington, everyone assumes DC first, and no, I live in the state, but it's hard. I always have a hard time answering that question because I was an Air Force brat. So it's like, I was born in New Mexico, lived in Kansas, Germany, Ohio, Michigan. I've been I think one time I counted like 13 different countries I've been to. So it's like, where I'm from currently, Washington. Where did I grow up? I would say Michigan, but it's hard to say exactly where home was because I loved all of it. I go by the identity of Audi-gender and Audi-sexual, or part of the alphabet mafia, as it's called on other social media. It's just how I learned that my autism and my gender can't separate, so it helps me know who I am. Same with my sexuality. So I tried sticking with pansexual, and I tried doing just the trans thing, but I got kind of dysphoric doing that. So having this new identity that I learned about has really helped me embrace how I'm attracted to different types of people, but not always the same. And it's not based off of gender. It's usually based off of their brain, or like they're categorized depending on what I want that person for. And that's also part of me being polyamorous too, is like, I like having different people for different things to satisfy what the brain does. And when I came out 4 years ago, I just kind of like really immersed myself in queer history and queer culture, that as part of my hobby for fun, I actually tried to find the trans people of history that kind of been sucked out and written out. So that's some huge part of what I do for the community. $35. The age that I realized and found out who I really was 35. I kind of knew when I was around 10 or 11, as we call our pre-egg stages in transitioning, the doctor said there was a potential that my Y chromosome messed up, and while I was having this UTI at one time, and such interesting things that the body can screw up things. And at that age, I just dove deep, like, why wasn't I born a girl? If the Y chromosome could have messed up and I could have been born a girl, should I have been? I started all these questions, a lifelong 20 years of like confusion of who I was, because I never felt like I was the right person until 35. Then I found out about my autism and all the other weird things that go on up in this brain that really has helped with my full identity. I'm slowly losing imposter syndrome, and very slowly, but just the confidence is so different than who I was almost 5 years ago. Holy crap. Yeah.
And it takes some time to find yourself, and when you do, you gotta grab onto that.
Yeah. That pretty much lost like 35 years of being able to have that identity. So it's like I'm trying to fast forward through it in a short time.
Feel the rain crash down, life bursting from the ground. Yeah, that's a change.
When I came out, I was already at a point of my life where, because of the divorce and my alcoholism and stuff, I was already kind of at a point of life where I had healthy, natural supports and not unhealthy ones. And so when I came out, I just said, screw it, and came out knowing that my parents were already going to be okay with it, because my dad knew I was gay before I was gay. He sat me down one time and he's like, because I was living with, when I was still presenting male, I was living with two guys in a 2-bedroom. And he asked me, it's like, you know, if you're gay, you can tell us. There's no shame behind it. And I just looked at him in the most asexual mindset. If I had the terms at the time, like, I'm playing World of Warcraft and going to work. That's all I'm doing. Like, what do you mean? How would you think I'm gay? But so when I came out as Roxy, I just knew, like, family would accept me, but I was actually surprised at how much from past me and somewhat present me that people just didn't like unfriend me or walk out of my life, that they actually now, people I wanted to talk to when I was a teenager are like, I like this you, I like this healthy, advocating person that you just always seemed so angry before. You were always unhappy before. And now that we see Roxy and how much she's smiling, and it's like, now this is a person now I have the other end of the spectrum of people didn't want to talk to me because I was a horrible person, they thought, to people don't want to talk to me because they're so anxious to meet me. And it's a whole different experience. But just the fact that I know I give people a safe space to be able to experience that if they can helps. And that's the type of community that I've grown in the last 4 years. It's like, speak the truth. Don't just hide it. Like, if you're going through something, you're going through something. Because now I have so many people that thank me for, I had a few adults come to me later. It's like, you know, you finally made me realize I can be queer at any point in my life, and I can finally accept it. And I had a few friends do that. That touched me. With me coming out was letting other people know it was okay.
Wake up to the beautiful sound. Welcome to.
I am a social worker now. My ADHD shows on my Facebook wall. I tried to advocate on TikTok. I got up to 2,000 people on that when I was first learning, and I got burned out. But I advocate a lot, to the point that I got asked on, it's called Diversity Alliance of Puget Sound, and they were restarting the board members and stuff, and they need people that advocate, that talk about the trans community and what their needs are. And this person that was the board of directors before he kind of went on sabbatical, somebody I totally thought I annoyed because I talk so much and advocate so much, was like, I need to fill out all these positions. You probably know some of these people because we advocate just as much. Told me the list. I'm like, yeah, I'm familiar with some of those names, because when you do leadership things and advocate, you end up in the same circle of people, because there's just so few of us in our community that's doing it. And as a peer counselor out in Washington, that I go to every leadership thing now to advocate for trans needs and people being authentic, that I found a career out of it. And to the point I finally finished my bachelor's. That took me 20 years because I didn't know how my brain worked. But this year I got into grad school for Masters of Social Work, so I can even try to do even more for not just my trans community, but the autistic community, because there's so much. If we could help with behavioral health at the source, would help with all the addiction problems that I deal with at work. It doesn't escape a straight or a queer person. It's there, and without basic needs or anything, those stressors just make it. So I try to do it at the basic level with recovery with people and help them learn how to be their authentic self, however they want to turn out, queer, straight. I just want people to be happy, and I'm actually happy that I get paid to do it.
That's so awesome that you're in grad school. Congratulations.
Thank you. I was so scared because my GPA was a 2.8 and they wanted 3, but they also wanted a story of why this program would work for you. So I got to tell them, it's like, I didn't know I had dysgraphia, which is dyslexia for writing. There's dyscalculia for math and stuff. There's different types of dyslexia. I never knew that. I knew I had minor dyslexia my whole life because I flip numbers and words all the time, but I didn't know, because of how horrible my handwriting is and grammar, I could never grasp grammar. It's dysgraphia. And I explained that and told them, like, I have lived experience of recovery, social work. I'm doing it as a worker for the last 2 years. And told them that even though I was verbally abused by my ex-wife and didn't even know I had autism, I was trying to do school without any sort of help mentally, no help with anybody. And I told him, it's like, I just went through all this and I graduated and got here. And then sharing why I want to do what I want to do, and it's because I want to change legislation that's worded wrong, but they don't realize the impact they have on what I'm learning with a lot of laws. You have to take law so literally, like you do almost need an autistic to look over it and then be like, did you really mean to word it like that? Because this is what it means to me, and you lawyers have to follow it as the autistic way. So I was so excited because I have a friend who just started her PhD program, and the final push was to say that we'd write a paper together to try to change autism care. And I feel like because most of the trans community, if not all, is autistic, that I can at least help people there as a trans autistic person. So yeah, social work's become a huge passion because I'm helping people that don't know how to get help or where to even start. And like I was 6 years ago before I even found Roxy, like first time getting fired, still an alcoholic, and the divorce all within a year. I like the fact that I have a job that I get to use my trauma and my recovery to help so many people.
Yeah, it's empowering to be able to do that.
The biggest change would be more for the communities, would be more education and representation, because bigots that hate us, that want us gone, just they're hard to educate, but if we could educate enough people, that's kind of the thing, like with this clinic, with the quote that I got from, I work for the Chehalis tribe, and they had every right to not have this recovery clinic to just the tribes. They had every right to do it just for the natives. And they decided instead, if they can heal the people, can it heal the land? So go work at the people at the bottom that have trauma and everything to try to get enough people, kind of amass an army of people that with enough education and enough people saying, let's change, then maybe we finally would. And it's going to take a lot of time. That was something hard to learn about trying to change people's perspective about so many types of trauma and gender identities and sexual identities. Like, but that education is so important. It's why I eventually, hopefully, want to get this book finished that I've been writing, because I want the education of how a mediocre person, according to society, lower middle class, no star money, no movie money, nothing, and how they transition. Because I felt like education of just a normal run-of-the-mill person is just as important as the big stories and the ones of the trans people dying, because educating people that there is happiness with it might even get more people in just our community, let alone better allies and more allies.
Yeah. I mean, all it takes is just one person to change their mind, because that ripple effect.
Yeah, and then that one person that does the change does not understand the ripple effect they cause at all. Until people start thanking you that you didn't even know you touched them, you didn't even know part of your story, they were listening. Like the dad whose son turned into his daughter and approached me and said, thank you for your advocating, so that way he knew how to help his kid. We might have to get worse before we get better. But I think that's also why I'm taking my opportunities now to try to see what I can do, at least maybe at a local level. I don't know what I could do on a national level, but at a local level, if I can lower the barriers just a little bit so people can be themselves, then that's powerful for me. Because I don't know what that ripple effect's gonna do after I'm long gone. When sometimes I go in my I really don't care who looks at me type of outfit, I don't care, like I would be a queer witch in the public. The side eyes I ignore, because I see the little kid that's just like, I can be a fantasy character when I grow up. And seeing they're just staring at me like in awe and not like in disgust. Like you can totally tell the difference. And those days when I'm walking around looking like a fairy or something, because I just don't care. And seeing the kids kind of light up like there's an adult in fun clothes or something like that. Like, even if they aren't queer when they're older, but just to know that they can wear whatever makes them happy.
It's like 10:10 right now, or 10:08. But I do thank you for talking to me, Roxy.
Yep. I love to. I jump all over these types of advocacy things. It's just, ever since I came out, it's like I want people, I'm screaming at the world like you can be happy even in this shit-ass world.
Mm-hmm.
And I think by one person at a time getting happier, we can all create the change out there. So, but yeah, I can info dump all night about it. It's a passion.
Yeah, be the change.
Yeah.
I think a change